Hey everybody there in YouTube land, this is Rockin' Spirit coming to you live on a beautiful sunny day. I'm driving the country roads to my mother's house and gonna work our beehives today. I got thinking about the bees and the community, and they're such a great example of community and working together for the betterment of the hive and the colony. And basically you have the queen bee, who's very protected and never leaves the hive. She only leaves the hive once in her life, and that is to go and get mated from the drone bees. And then she comes back in safe and sound and begins her laying pattern, and she does this for the rest of her life. And at some point in time, she separates the hive when their growth is overflowing in the hive, and she lays another set of larvae, and the worker bees, nurse bees, the nurse bees will then feed those cells a special diet to create queens. And only one queen is going to reign. So when that queen hatches, she's going to go and she's going to remove all the other queen bees that would have been backups. Okay, she gets out first and she gets to run the hive. And so what happens is, once she springs forth from her cell, she will go out on a mating flight, and she will gather her lifelong sperm to use in the function of laying more brood and larvae through her lifespan. And when a queen gets of old age, she will do the pattern again. She will lay eggs, and then the bees inside will determine which ones they're going to create queens out of. She will take half the hive with her, the original queen bee, and she will leave that hive with half of them, and then they're producing two hives out in the world. One she's leaving behind and a new one she's going to create, and so on. And inside the hive, you've got stages of bees. You've got your drone bees that are there for the purpose of mating other queen bees, so that is their job. And then you have nurse bees that are taking care of the larvae. Those are the brand new bees that hatch out. They become the nurse bees, and they take care of the other larvae. And then you have worker bees. That's when the nurse bees are done with their function. Then they move into the next stage, which become worker bees, and they go out and they forage and harvest and bring back for the building of the hive. They bring back resources for food and for structure. Excuse me. And then you have the guard bees that will protect the hive from intruders. And so it is a beautiful, synergistic hive dwelling. It is awesome how they work together. And the queen, she sets off pheromones. She keeps her colony with her by those pheromones. They go where the queen is. She never leaves the hive after her mating, but they stay loyal to her until she departs with half of them, and then they become loyal to the next queen that becomes reared. And they produce wonderful resources, beeswax. They gather pollens and nectar to make honey. So they are self-sustaining, and you know, the queen determines how many eggs she's going to lay through life, and the workers determine how the hive is going to function when they're ready for a new queen. They're kind of the ones taking account, keeping inventory of where it needs to go. And so it's such a good thing. And then it got me thinking about relationships in your family, your surrounding friends, and your group that keeps your life moving forward. Because we can isolate ourselves and do the journey alone, but it's never as strong as when you have a colony of people around you helping your life to work. And I think sometimes it can be a tragic thing when there's a suffering one in the family and nobody is coming around them and up underneath them are recognizing that they need to support and work together as a team for the best interest of the family or the relationships. And whenever there is a need in a person's life and a family, and everybody is doing their own thing and is oblivious to the need of that person or the weakness in that person, and they don't rally around them and pick up the slack where that person's unable to meet their demands, it is a sad thing, because it should be a community. And although we all have our independent jobs, we're still working together as a team. And so if someone's suffering and they are dropping hints, or they actually even vocally sit down and have conversations, and those people, one, they either listen and they do nothing about it, but they are in agreement, they understand, but then they don't meet the need. Or you have somebody that you do speak out the truth to and let them know your situation and your struggle, and they walk away offended on their self, thinking you're upset with them because they're not doing their job, and or they don't want to do what you're asking them to do. It's an imposition to them, and that is a very tragic thing. You should be able to share your truth with someone that's close to you in your life, in your hive, in your community, and the hearts of us as people should be there to meet those needs. That's why we're here. We're here to set apart time to serve others and to esteem them better than ourselves, and to never be offended when somebody reaches out with need, thinking about our own feelings and egos, and just say, I'm on it, I'm sorry you're suffering, I want to be there for you, I want to help you through this so that you can get on the other side and be a strong force in the family again. And I do struggle with this in my own life, having those rally around me, and often I do get offended, and I think, don't you care that I'm a functioning, valuable asset to the family, and don't you want to keep me in that ability to be a strong force? And when I'm weak, I need some nurturing and some care. And as a mother and a wife and a daughter and sister and whatnot, and a friend out in the world, I am by nature a giving person, so I give more than I receive, and I end up in this martyr cycle where I'm denying myself to serve others, and then when the shoe's on the other foot and you need that help, nobody comes to your aid, and you're kind of on your own, struggling through without remedy. Really, it's a very difficult struggle. And then sometimes when I share those feelings in the family, they do get offended, like you're accusing them of not being loving, or maybe they get offended because they don't want to extend the time to you because they're busy about their own things. And both scenarios are very tragic to the heart of the person reaching out for help, that maybe you're not met with as much respect and love from the people around you that will help you when you're down. So I just want to encourage you today to be a community. Look at the bees and look at the ants and look at the things out in nature that by instinct help each other, and see where you might be able to go back to our natural instincts that God created us to be there for one another, and to not be going through life just about ourselves and our own agenda, and feeling satisfied meeting our own needs, but to be a helper and a lover, and somebody that's willing to be a servant without offense. Just stepping aside from the offense, feeling accused because somebody needs you, or being unwilling because you don't want to give up your time. So with that, I just want to encourage you to go out, be a blessing, listen, be watching and looking for a place that you might serve another, and to strengthen your relationships, your bonds, the production in your family life, your success. That's true success. And with that, this is Rockin' Spirit coming to you live. God bless and make it a great day.